Hey, what is up, everyone? So, we're just about to go and record a podcast in just 1 second. So, I'm going to let this populate over on LinkedIn, on Facebook, in the Facebook group. So, if you're seeing this on your feed, give it a like. Actually, going to be diving into an exclusive interview today with my good friend and someone who I respect very dearly in the fitness space, Angela, which we'll get into in just 1 second. And this is going to be actually the first guest interview I'm doing on the Remote Coaches podcast. So I think we're about 13 episodes in. I've been riding solo up until this point. But today I wanted to bring someone on who, like I mentioned, I respect when it comes to actually getting results in the fitness space, specifically with female clients. So if you're looking to get into the online space and you're looking to work with female clients specifically, or maybe you've been doing some online coaching already and you really want to learn some new things or get some new insights when it comes to building your online coaching business and getting results online, then this is going to be for you. And I'm sure you're going to find it very valuable. And equally, maybe if you're just in Angela's network and you're listening to this and maybe you're thinking of hiring a coach, this is going to be a good insight into what Angela actually does when it comes to helping her clients and helping women specifically online get results. So I'm super excited to dive into this. There's quite a few people that have been wanting to hear you speak and know that you've got a lot of value to provide. And so what we'll do is we'll dive in, we'll give people a little bit of context as to where you're at and how you got into all this stuff and how you got into online coaching. And then we'll dive straight into it. I want to talk to you, Angela, a little bit about how you have set yourself up and what you've got in place and how you're getting those results. And then we can kind of explore things and give the audience some value here. So give us a little bit of a backstory, in terms of like how you got into the fitness space. First of all, let's just start there. How did you get into the fitness space?
Yeah, well, I started my fitness career in the gyms. I was actually before having kids, before being married, and all the things. Like I started in the gyms. I was your typical trainer working at a box gym that was there at 5 a.m. and didn't leave till after 9 p.m. And I did that for years. And what really got me kind of my transition into online was doing the box gym training for years and getting burnt out. I'm sure if anybody's online, you can or listening can probably relate to that at some extent. You get burnt out, and that's where I was. And funny part in my journey that a lot of people don't realize is I actually left. I quit fitness for 2 years. I actually left and went to corporate world thinking, oh, I just need an 8 to 5 and a salary. That sounds so much better. And I did that for 2 years and it was miserable for 2 years because I wasn't doing what I loved so much. And to be honest with you, I was desperate to find a way back. And what actually got me back online, I started actually in network marketing. Network marketing was my first experience with online doing anything, helping people. Again, I was selling products at that point, of course, but it got me to a place where I was full time. I'd replaced my income right in time to have a baby, our first baby bundle of joy. And it allowed me to work from home full time since she's been born. She's 7 now. And,
She's
I
very
just kept
cute, by the
going.
way. She's very
Oh,
cute,
thank you.
everyone. You'll see her on Angela's profile. Super cute. I know your kids are quite prevalent in your content, which is what we'll get into in a second with your niche, focusing
Yeah.
specifically on mums. But yeah, carry on, Angela.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're my life, and that was my biggest drive to want to work from home and do more. But I knew I love network marketing, and it opened so many doors for me, and I still kind of do it very passively, but it wasn't my overall passion. Fitness was my thing, and I was missing it. So I got actually back into group fitness. I was teaching group fitness
Hmm.
classes while network marketing at home. Did that for years. Was getting up at 3:45 every single morning and then coming home to be
Early.
mom and network marketer. So again, that word burnout came back to my life doing that. I actually had tried for a really long time to start online coaching, but I couldn't sell a $50 program to save my life, y'all. I could not say, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was struggling my way. I wasn't getting help. And then things started to crumble for me. Honestly, everything started falling apart, every business, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I wasn't keeping up. We were at the brokest part of our lives as a married couple with 2 kids at that point. And that's when my whole world changed. Actually, March of 2020, I finally got over myself and invested in a coach. Yours truly, Alex, and I remember that conversation. Best thing I ever did was invest in myself with some coaching, and at a point in my life where I just came off of paying the mortgage with credit card 2 months in a row. So needless to say, could I financially afford it in my own mind? No, but I couldn't afford not to. And it's been the best decision I ever made. Now I have a fully online, I quit a lot of other things, and this is what I do full time. I coach women, and I have 2 coaches now, and I'm full-time mommy / coach.
Amazing. I just want to backtrack actually to some things that you did along the way. You know, it sounded like even though you were doing things that weren't necessarily aligned or serving you, they probably set you up with some skills potentially to be able to grow your business later on. I know like the network marketing space, it is big on social media and actually putting yourself out there. So I imagine that did kind of help to a degree, you know, having that kind of base level of social media experience. But would you say like that's necessary for anyone looking to start their online business, that they have to have experience in social media before getting started? Or do you think you can just learn from scratch? What's your opinion?
No, I don't think you need experience. You just need to have the courage to step out and put stuff out there and then start building a following and get help. Like the biggest thing that the mistake that I made for so long was I didn't get help. I tried to figure it out on my own, and I spent 5 years struggling when I probably could have had success a lot faster if I got help and some strategies that worked. I don't think you need experience at all. You don't need a massive following. I've seen people with no following and have amazing success because they put themselves out there and then they learned as they went. You don't have to have it all figured out before you start. You absolutely don't.
So let's dive into the program side of what you do, and what you deliver in terms of like coaching and results, etc. Because I know a lot of people tuning into this, especially if they see the title, will kind of want to know how you're getting results with your clients, and how that's kind of evolved, you know. So I'd like to kind of start when you like officially launched online and started selling online coaching, what that was like, what it felt like, what you were kind of doing, and then how that's kind of evolved as well over time in terms of what you've learned and what has changed and how things look like now with your coaches. And obviously you've got multiple offers, ways of working with you, so to speak. But let's go back to kind of the initial launch phase, because I think this will be interesting for anyone that's kind of making that transition online. And then for people that are a little bit further ahead, probably going to be interesting to hear your setup and how you're actually getting people results at different levels, you know, inside of your business and through like what you do in different offers. So could we start from kind of the initial launch phase
Yeah,
and what that
absolutely.
looked like?
Yeah, to me at first, the initial launch phase was scary. I'll be totally honest. I came from selling $100 products. And like I said, I couldn't sell $50 coaching programs to save my life because I had no strategy and all the things, right? But there was no value behind it. So when I first got started, one of the things that actually you guys coached me on this, just start selling, Angela. Start selling, put yourself out there, take the step, get on a sales call, sell it before you have it figured out. And I was like, how does that make sense? How can I not sell something I don't have figured out? But looking back now, I'm like, it was the best advice ever because you sell it, get on a call. I got on a call scared to death. I actually rescheduled my call 3 times because I was like, oh God, I was so nervous. And then I got on the call, sold the call. Sold the program. And then the best thing I did was I developed a high ticket 12-week program as I took my first client through it. And again, the hard-headed me at first was like, no, I got to have it figured out. That was the best way to do it because you can't really lay out a program until you have a client to take it through, to take them through and truly build it out 1 week at a time was the best piece of advice I ever did. And start with high ticket. I know a lot of coaches, I have low ticket, I have mid ticket, I have tiers, that kind of a value ladder now, really the way I coach, but I wouldn't start that way because to sell high ticket, one, that's where we all want to be, right? It's where the big money is. But it's also where the big results are. It's also where the big value is. But it's a very big mindset shift to sell high ticket. And if you're trying to sell low ticket, mid ticket, high ticket all at the same time, you're gonna have a really hard time selling high ticket, in my personal opinion. It was a huge mindset shift for me. I went from my very first sell was $697 in my third week of coaching with you guys. And then, now my high ticket goes for $1897. And it has, for a while now. So start with high ticket and truly build it out as you take your first client. Don't wait to have it figured out before you sell. Because you're going to
love
change it.
Sorry to dive in there, Angela, but I just love what you said there, because I think this is probably one of the most profound things that someone could probably take from this if you're looking to get started online or looking to make the next step in your business. Is there's going to be situations that present themselves where you're going to have to do stuff that you don't feel ready to do, so to speak, that are going to make you feel a little bit nervous, that are going to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable. And there's going to be some paths you need to take where you don't actually know where it's going, or you can't see very far ahead. You've kind of just got to trust and have faith in a process and take some imperfect action and figure it out as you go. And if obviously you've got guides and mentors and stuff to help you, then great. But equally, even if you don't, like, just leap, and you'll be surprised how much you can figure out as well as you go through the process, and just be open to adjusting on the fly. And also another thing that I really liked what you said is, use the word high ticket, right? And like, high ticket can mean a lot of things, but I like what you said in terms of high ticket means you can get the best results with your clients. It's not just about charging as much as possible to your clients. It's about delivering a world-class service. And so you're getting rewarded in exchange for the value that you're providing. It's not just a case of just putting a big price tag on a program. It's actually leading with a level of service, delivering a high level of service. But what you're saying is starting with a higher ticket, higher level of service program, because it's actually easier to sell and easier to actually get your business going doing that, before adding complexity with all these other offers and lower ticket offers, which are actually harder to sell because you need a bigger audience. So if you've only got a small audience, it's actually easier to start at those higher price points to get the cash flow coming in, and so that you can serve those clients at a high level. And then once your audience is bigger and it's growing, that's when you can start maybe playing around with different offers and different mechanisms and different ways of serving your audience to bring them in so that they can see what it's like working with you. And that was the next step for you, right? In terms of bringing in something a little bit more accessible or affordable to your network. And if that was the case, which I believe it is, because I can see you've got that program set up now, like, what does that look like? What are you typically doing now when it comes to bringing people into your world and then up the ladder, so to speak?
Yeah, to be honest with you, the first step after just focusing on high ticket was creating, like, at first I had, like, I called it my Jumpstart Detox program. It was a 2-week program. It was a $200 program. And, we typically had 10 to 30 women sign up on those. And the biggest point of that was to get them in the door, get them some quick results, and help them see me as a coach. They can only see so much of you from the free value. They need to make that small investment. And so my biggest goal with that is to help them see results, but then also see who's serious, making that small investment, and then upsell those into high ticket, which we usually, between 20 and 30% conversion from those into higher ticket. Now, I've even added a whole nother layer. Recently I did just a paid class. People paid me something as small as $27, and we had 68 ladies sign up to hop on Zoom with me for 1 hour of my time, and then from there present to them what it looks like. What else do we have to offer? And then people are still actually signing up for middle and high ticket programs just from that. And then, currently the one you're seeing right now is it's another very similar to that $37 actual, a really short challenge that's going to be pretty automated, to be honest with you, and in a group. And the big purpose of that, again, is to sell to a bigger group instead of a bunch of one-on-one calls. It's more of me selling in there to get them into more coaching. I'm really present to them, hey, 21 days is a jumpstart. It's not going to be your all-in results, but this is what we do have. And so that's, some shifts I've made.
As you're saying this, right, I imagine some people in the audience are going to themselves, well, what's the difference between these like different tiers and different levels? And it might seem maybe a little bit complicated, or maybe people listen to this and going, well, what is the actual difference between each one of those things? So I think it would be kind of useful, right, if we do this, if we look at like the free stuff you do, the free group, which is typically where you're maybe bringing people in and nurturing people. Then from there, we've got the next tier up, which is, would you say it's the macro mini class, which is the next level, like the first
Mm-hmm.
commitment? And that is what is that $37, $27,
That's 27.
27
And then,
$27.
yeah.
And then we've got the next tier, middle tier, and then we've got the higher ticket, high touch, high level of experience. So let's go from like the free group. What's the difference between the free group and the paid stuff? So what are you doing in the free group specifically, like at the moment, day to day?
So on a day-to-day basis, of course, is continually growing the group. I think we're close to 9,000 ladies in that group now. And it's, consistently growing. The biggest thing is
Congrats on that, by the way.
Huh?
Congrats. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
big
you.
community. That's decent.
Yeah, and it's free community, free support. I have some free resources that I've put together over the years that we introduce them to, and it's nurturing. It's about nurturing, letting them see me, getting a little feel for me and my coaches now, honestly too, because they step up and now they're putting themselves out there as well in our free group, and it's just nurturing them, let them. Like, let's be honest, I mean, there's so many coaches and so many things out there in today's world. Like most people need that free group to get a little feeling of you, a little bit of taste. So that's what we do, nurturing. And then strategically, I'm doing classes in there. Like I'm going live here in about, in just a little while to do a couple of things, to teach on a topic of eating enough food for women. And then I'm also, of course, going to be promoting my 21-day challenge that starts next week too. So kind of twofold. So I do free trainings in there. Honestly, my free trainings are usually once a month now. There's plenty in there. They can go catch replay. And then, we do strategic posts in there to get some people to raise their hand. Like who's struggling, who needs help, who needs this. And then we're strategically reaching out to them, offering help in scripts and seeing if they're looking for help. And then we let them know what we have to offer. And then, go from there. Or if they just need free support, awesome. We welcome them with open arms just to stay in the community and use what we have for free. And then go from there.
Such a high level of service, just giving freely and building up that connection and building up that rapport with your audience through the group. When would someone go into the macro offer? So is that what you typically do next right now? Are you taking people through the macro offer and then up the ladder, or are you going and seeing like if they're ready for that one-on-one support or more that high touch and then deciding, or are you going straight for the macro offer? How's that process looking for you?
Yeah, honestly, I've really only pitched the macro mini class once so far. And that's where we did it live. Now it is available, of course, for replay. They can still pay the $27, get the entire replay and what we provided in there. I'm not regularly promoting that at the moment. Right now, really, my biggest goal is when they show interest, they raise their hand, so to speak, in the group, and we start to reach out to them and ask them about their goals and their struggles. And then we just get to the point. I've learned the women in my niche, so to speak, were busy. They don't need fluff. They just need to, hey, I just want free. So we straight up ask them, are you looking for, to invest in some help right now? Or do you feel like free resources is a better fit for you right now? And we're getting great response for that. They just need free. Cool. We tag them in the group where they can download our free resources. If they need help, then we're actually, we're actually sharing what we have to offer in our middle tier and our high ticket, just those two for now. And if those don't work for them, then like right now, the 21 days, actually, this is a brand new offer that I'm doing. This is the very first time I've done that. So we're actually getting a lot of people that haven't jumped in on our other programs yet to jump in on this. So our goal is to over deliver, give them a taste of us, let them see who we are, and then, obviously transition them into some other coaching programs.
So let's dive into the mid tier. So the 21 dayer, that's like a new one that you're rolling out. So obviously you don't have a ton of feedback on that, but a lot of the things that are in that are probably things that you've been teaching anyway in some format of fashion elsewhere, etc. But in your mid tier, what are they getting in your mid tier, and how are you getting some initial results in your mid tier? Like, how are you getting those initial results to get people some quick wins? What does that typically look like?
Yeah. So what my actual middle tier program that I have available all the time is a 6 weeks. It's macros and workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's group coaching. It's group coaching based. I have a VIP community where the women that we coach in all of our programs are a part of. So
Mm-hmm.
to get them the results the women are getting in that program right now is phenomenal. And then they're having over 50% re-sign that go on a monthly. But the biggest value in there is like we're setting up their nutrition, we're setting up their macro goals, we're giving them the workouts that are typically the best fit and effective for the type of women that we're coaching.
Mm-hmm.
They get those workouts. We deliver it in an app, which I have already kind of preset and pre-made. They sign up, they get plugged in, and then they're plugged into one of the coaches that I assign them to. Will set their macros for them, and then we look at their progress with them twice during that program, and then everything else is we coach inside our VIP community. We coach on mindset, we coach on nutrition, we coach on the fitness piece, but we dive. To be honest with you, so much of our coaching that I think makes the biggest difference for our ladies, it's not the macros, it's not the magic formulas, it's not the meal plans, it's not even the workouts. It's what we do with them up here, to be honest with you, is I really truly feel is the number one reason why so many of our women are having the results they're having, regardless of what program. 6 week, 12 week, any of them, to be honest with you, it's the mindset piece. It's the
Super
game.
interesting for anyone listening, right? Because
Yeah.
you could argue that, like, nutrition, being in a calorie deficit, for example, would be the biggest needle mover. But really, what you're seeing as feedback from your clients and your community is, yeah, like, you can teach people what to do, but if they don't have the mindset to do what you're teaching them what to do, then they're not going to get results. How does that process look like in terms of, like, shifting their mindset to the right place for them to be able to follow through on what you're teaching them? Like, what sort of setup or coaching or infrastructure do you currently have in place for that, Angela, to make that happen and get those results?
Yeah. So two of our biggest things that we do with our mindset, when we set up their nutrition, we set up their workouts, and then the rest of it is we really, really, really encourage. And if they're coaching with us in one of our programs that we use our app, which is our 6 or 12 week program, it's all in the app. And my women are checklist people. They like checklists so that they feel good and accomplished when they can check stuff off. So we've learned that with our ladies. And so we like mindset habit. It's got to be there. Yes, you need to drink your water. Yes, you need to get your workout in. Yes, you need to, count or track your food and let us, meet your macros, all that kind of stuff. But again, it's the mindset habit that we're holding them accountable to, and it's different for everybody. We've got pretty much a list. Here's some to pick from. Let's try it. If that doesn't set your soul on fire, then you need to change it up. And we really make sure that we're really encouraging them to do those. And then the other really big thing that we've been doing this for over a year now is on Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, same time, same day of the week, noon central inside of my VIP community, I go live on a mindset topic of some kind, and I really take them through. It's not just me preaching, standing up here and telling you what to do. It's interactive, and the women know that now. So they show up and we're interacting, and I give them exercises to do. They can be something as simple as us as entrepreneurs can do the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Working on their mindset, working on, just being their biggest cheerleader, working on how in the world can they say wins? Because women struggle seeing where they win. They struggle so hard. They could be doing phenomenal. They could lose 10 inches, but the scale doesn't freaking move. So they're going to focus on the fact that the scale didn't move instead of the opposite. So I really dive into their mind every Tuesday, and then we encourage them, go watch that replay. Maybe you couldn't come live, but go do it. And then just we check in on their mindset a lot inside that community too, and just really share and encourage them to be vulnerable, and the other women uplift them. It's not just us coaches. It's really awesome to watch.
Yeah, I really love what you mentioned there, Angela, and I can see why it's having such a big impact on your results, because I see the same parallels between my clients, So whether it's fitness or whether it's business, like, you can teach people all the strategy in the world, but if you don't give people the reason why they're doing it, or help them see the reason why they're doing it, and help them with their mindset and their thinking around the thing that they need to do, then they don't get the same results as someone who is working on those things, Like, the way we approach things, the way we think about things, the reasons behind why we do things are really important to getting results either in business or to getting results in fitness. And I love that you touched on that and you've really identified that as a key element to getting results with your clients, because a lot of coaches may think that, cool, I just need to give them access to an app and a training plan and some nutrition and they should be good to go. But in reality, it's really not that simple, because people have roadblocks, mental ones, limiting beliefs. People have these day-to-day challenges that mess with their schedules. You know what I mean? All these different mental roadblocks that they really need to overcome before they can actually do some of the execution. And I also think the community element is a big factor for you as well, where you've actually got other people together going through a similar journey where they can support one another and feel like they're not doing it alone. I imagine that's a big factor for you and your community, because I see that in my community too.
Yeah,
When it comes
absolutely.
to the next phase of what you do, so we've done kind of the free stuff, we've done some of the lower ticket stuff, entry price points to what you do, the mid-tier stuff, more group based. What's the difference if someone was to step up another level to like your top tier level? What's the difference there?
Yeah, so the top tier level is that's where we go one on one. That's definitely where they get connected to. I'm pretty much oversee all the clients. My two coaches that are just amazing, and I'm so blessed to have them. They get connected to their one on one coach, and it's one on one, and everything at that point we do. Typically customize the right workout plan for them, or we'll customize that mindset habit. We'll hop on a call with them once a month. And to be honest with you, my coaches are so amazing and giving. Sometimes they'll do way more than that. If they feel somebody needs help, like, I mean, they're just willing, let's work it out. And then we also teach a little bit in that, with that program, it's a little bit more, we do still go into macros in that program, but we break each macro down into 1 week. And let's actually teach you a little bit about it. Like, okay, why do you need so much protein? Let me explain to you a little bit more, because I find that, we don't overwhelm them with way too much information, but we do give
Mm-hmm.
them a little bit of like, and here's why you need it. So that it does become a lifestyle habit a little bit more when they kind of understand, like, okay, she told me I need this much protein, but why the heck do I need that much protein? Oh, that makes more sense to me. So we do break down that one. It's a little bit more lifestyle habit approach, and a tiny bit of teaching, so that they go into after the 12 weeks, or if they continue with us or on their own, they understand it a little bit more than, hey, Angela gave me a number I needed to meet. So it's definitely a lot more intel. And that one-on-one accountability makes a difference for most of them.
Mm. I mean, obviously, with higher price point, it's higher touch point. If you were to kind
Yeah.
of zoom out and look at how your business looks, and for anyone like listening in on this conversation, you're creating more levels of touch and more personalization as you move up the ladder, so to speak. And with more touch and more levels of personalization, then that is reflected in the fee and what you charge. And so, very easy and simple way to look at it, and what I think everyone should maybe appreciate when someone is coming into your network and coming into your world is they may not be ready to go to the highest level of touch and personalization. And they may just need to check out some free resources first, like Angela has in her group, or maybe get involved in one of your lower entry price point offers to kind of get some quick wins and build up some momentum and really see the power in working with you before maybe moving up to those higher levels in the business. So hopefully this has been actually valuable for everyone listening, and you've actually had some moments where you've understood things a little bit better when it comes to structuring your own business and your own programs. And if you're listening to this on social media, on any of the platforms, then give it a like and let us know what you actually got from this. I want to end on one question. If you were starting out again from scratch when it comes to building your business, is there anything that you would do differently, knowing what you know now? So if you were starting from scratch, is there anything that you would do differently, knowing what you do now, and with all the experience that you've got?
Um, I don't know that I would do it differently. I mean, I honestly, as I look back now, I'm like, okay, that was actually, I did it that way for a reason. Like starting with high ticket, not trying to do low ticket at the same time, and middle ticket and all this other, just literally honing in on one thing, because that was the biggest mindset shift that I know that I needed. The one thing I take that back. I would probably do one thing different because this past year I've worked super hard with my own journey, my own mindset. I'm just evolving. I've always done mindset work. I've always, taken care of myself. Well, since I started online, this kind of coaching, I didn't always in the past take care of myself. But the one big thing I would do different is work a little harder on my mindset when I first started. I would work as hard as I am right now. Like it's so important to me. I feel like it's been a big I feel like it's a big mistake that so many entrepreneurs, no matter what business they're in, they just don't do enough of it. And then I guarantee you guys, I don't care. Like when I was having 30K months or 2K months, it doesn't matter. The same doubts, the same fears, the same, I'm not worthy of this price point. How can somebody pay me that much? Like, I mean, all of the doubts start to creep in no matter what level of success you ever get to. And if you want to be successful and really truly make it a long-term journey, not just a quick fad diet fix like our clients often chase, then you got to work on yourself. Probably would have worked a little harder in the beginning, but if I could tell anybody that's starting out, like you've got to work on yourself because it will not be easy. You're going to have ups, ebbs, flows, and all the above. But it's honestly what's got me to where I'm at right now. To be honest with you, is just pushing past those moments of, wanting to throw in the towel, to be honest with you, because I've had many moments of like, I don't think this is for me.
Really interesting what you ended on there. You spoke about the same thing that you said is the biggest needle mover when it comes to your clients getting results in all of your programs. It's around mindset. I'd have to agree with you when it comes to what I do with my clients. Yeah, it's a strategy, but that's the big factor, isn't it? The way that we're working on the mindset with our clients, but also on our own mindset when it comes to doing what we need to do on a day-to-day basis to keep moving forward. So appreciate you so much for spending 30 minutes with us, coming on and sharing these insights and being very open and willing to share this stuff with my audience and people that are watching this and listening to this. I'll drop some links in the show notes so if people did want to check you out on Facebook and see more things from you or actually see what you're all about, then they can do. But I just want to say how grateful I'm. Really respect you. You've got a good heart. You really care about your clients. You're always willing to go above and beyond for the people in your network, in your world. And I know you're doing everything for the right reason and doing it with a good heart. So I appreciate you, and I thank you for coming on the show and spending some time with us.
Yeah, thank you, and I'll say, I will. I can never say how grateful I am for you because you're a big part of where I'm at right now. I cannot stress that enough. Like everything that you did for me over the last 2 years. It was actually 2 years in March since you and I had that very first call. It truly has been completely life changing, and I'll be forever grateful for you for sure.
Appreciate you, Angela. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, leave us a comment on social media. Or leave us a review if you're listening back to this on Apple, Spotify, or any of the platforms. Take care.